I am 32 years old, and just a few hours ago, I walked in on my wife, Awan, who is 30, cheating on me in our own bed. Right now, I am sitting here in the old fishing cabin my father built decades ago, trying to figure out what the hell I am supposed to do next. I feel wrecked, empty, angry in a way I have never known. My whole world got flipped upside down in an instant, and I have no one I can turn to. The only person I trusted just shattered me and then looked me in the eye and lied. If the police are not already out looking for me, I consider that a miracle. And if they are, I will deal with it when the time comes. I work in demolition, blowing things up for a living. Our crew travels a lot, and this time I had been away for 10 days out of a scheduled 14. Rain had shut us down, and you cannot exactly blow up soaked concrete. So I figured I would fly home, surprise Awan, and wait it out. My flight landed close to midnight, and I drove the 45 minutes from the airport to the house we built together. 8 years ago, Awan, working in real estate, found this beautiful piece of land, remote, surrounded by nothing but trees and sky. 2 years later, I finished building our home with my own hands. We had always loved that place. It had 4 garage bays, so when I saw a black sport utility vehicle parked in the driveway, my stomach dropped. I knew something was off. I could feel it. No fights lately, no coldness between us, our sex life was still strong. But still, I knew. If that SUV belonged to someone she knew, someone staying the night, she would have told me. I tried to convince myself it might be one of her girlfriends who had a bit too much wine, but I knew better. That would be way out of the ordinary. I sat in my truck for at least 15 minutes, thinking. Then I parked as close as I could to the driver's side of the SUV, pinning it near the stone wall. If someone wanted to leave, they would have to climb over or break a window. I had my concealed carry permit and had holstered my sidearm, my grandfather's .45, before getting on the plane. I was not afraid someone might hurt me. I was afraid of what I might do if I lost control. When I stepped inside, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Everything looked normal until I saw 2 dinner plates and a sink full of dishes. Someone had been there. I kept walking, slowly making my way toward our bedroom. I turned the knob carefully and opened the door. Pitch black. I walked to the bathroom, flipped the light on, and turned around. There she was, naked, straddling some man I had never seen before, also completely bare. My heart sank so fast I thought I might collapse. I did not scream. I did not shout. I pulled out my phone and started recording. I moved around the bed, capturing what I saw. My wife. My marriage. My life. All of it, gone. My brain started running the numbers. Everything we owned would have to be split. Even the house I had built with my own 2 hands. And that crushed me even more than what I was seeing. It felt like being betrayed twice, first by love, then by law. I looked down at them and realized that neither had moved. I figured they were both passed out drunk. I did not care. I looked around at the room I had built with love and pride, and I snapped. I pulled the .45 from my side. For a moment, I pointed it at the ceiling. My fingers squeezed the trigger, and the sound of 2 shots rang through the house. That woke them up. Awan shot off of him like a lightning bolt, and he rolled to the side. They both stared at me. She was terrified. He looked stunned, but calmer than I would have expected. She started to mumble something like, "It's not what it looks like." So I put another round through the closet door. She shut up. They both sat at opposite ends of the bed, naked under the sheet, trembling. I asked him who he was. He told me his name was Neshoba. I looked at Awan and asked how they knew each other. She said he ran his own real estate company. Then I asked how long this had been going on. She lied. Tonight was the first time. I fired 2 more shots right into the headboard between them. They both broke down crying, begging me to stop. Then Neshoba said, "It has been 6 months." At least he had the guts to be honest. I turned to Awan and asked her, "When did you stop loving me?" She said, "I never stopped." Another lie. I fired 2 more rounds into the mirror on her side of the bathroom. Glass exploded everywhere. "You are a liar," I said, "and I am done listening." She was shaking hard, probably having a panic attack. But I had nothing left to give her. No sympathy. No softness. I asked Neshoba if he was married. He said yes. Kids? Yes, 2 of them. I stared at him. So you were willing to lose your wife and your kids over this? Was she really worth it? He could not answer. I told him to shut up and think real hard about how this would play out. Either he could go home right now and tell his wife everything, or she would hear it from me, with video proof. Then I told him to get dressed. No clothes. I did not care. I made him grab his keys and wallet, and I walked him out. Before I let him go, I hit him. Repeatedly. My fists bloodied his nose and mouth. Then I handed him the keys and told him to leave. You have 45 seconds, I said. Otherwise, the coroner's the one who will carry you out of here. He drove off in a panic, still half naked. I went back inside. Alwan had put on one of my old robes and was sitting at the kitchen table, shaking. I picked up her phone and set it down in front of her. Call your parents. Or your sister. Or the cops. Up to you. She just sat there, crying. I offered again. Nothing. Then she started trying to talk. To apologize. To explain. I cut her off. There is nothing left to say. You ruined this. You killed what we had. This house is not your home anymore. Get in your car and go. She begged. She cried. I pulled the trigger twice into the oven and once into the fridge. Silence. I told her I did not care if I lived or died anymore. That all the love I had for her had turned to hatred the second I saw her with him. I said if I could erase her from my memory, I would. That there was no fixing this. No healing it. She finally stood up, walked into the garage, and drove away. That was 5 hours ago. I know I probably crossed some legal lines with what I did, but I did not want to wait around for the cops. I turned off all the lights, locked the doors, and left. Now I am sitting here in my father's old cabin, trying to decide what the hell comes next. Before I left that night, I climbed back into my truck and headed out to the one place I thought I could clear my head, my father's old fishing cabin. He and his buddies still use it from time to time, but there is a hidden spare key out back, and I knew exactly where it was. It was way too early to call anybody, so I let myself in and went straight to the small kitchen. I found a bottle of my dad's Balvenie scotch, the one I had actually bought him for his birthday a few weeks back. I cracked it open and poured myself more than I should have. He is probably going to be mad when he sees it half empty, but once I tell him what Alwan did, I figure he will understand. Truth is, I am just sitting here staring at the walls with this knot in my chest. I feel gutted. Most people who post stories like this are trying to figure out if their partner is cheating. I already got my answer in the worst way possible. And to be honest, I do not care to know more than I already do. I do not need her reasons or her excuses. None of that changes the fact that she betrayed me. I want a divorce. I want it fast. And I want it on my terms. I am not some prize she can keep picking up and putting down. I am a man. A human being. The thought of ever seeing her again makes my skin crawl. I want to erase every trace of her. I do not want to hear her voice, read her messages, or see her face ever again. I wonder, can lawyers just handle all of this without me having to see her? I have got money saved, and I am more than ready to spend it just to get out of this nightmare. What I do not have is the energy or patience to deal with any of it. 8 years of marriage. Gone. Erased. Worthless. Because how can I trust anything she ever told me was real? After what I saw tonight, I question every "I love you," every laugh, every smile. Part of me wishes I had put a bullet in both of them and ended it all, but I know that is probably the scotch talking. Still, I cannot deny the thought crossed my mind. Now I have to go get tested. Make sure Nashoba didn't leave me with something that stays with you forever. When I think about it, it has not just been 8 years. I spent almost a decade with her. And for what? The only thing she left me with is the realization that loyalty is extinct. The only thing eternal in modern relationships is disease. I know some people reading this will call me crazy, or violent, or reckless. Others will say I went too far by pulling out a firearm. But I never shot anyone. And believe me, those sheets were already ruined before a single round left the chamber. If the bullet holes knock a few thousand off the sale price of the house, I can live with that. Right now, I feel like I have nothing left. The life I had is dead. Even if I wanted it back, it is gone. And I know, people will say I dodged a bullet. No kids. Caught the affair before it dragged on any longer. But it does not feel like a win. Not now. Not when I keep cycling between sobbing and wanting to punch a wall. I keep thinking, maybe it would just be easier to check out completely. Just end it. But then again, maybe I'll pass out, and tomorrow it won't hurt as much. Not likely, but still. The weather's supposed to clear in a few days. We'll be back on site soon. I'll have to catch a flight out. I hate the region we're working in, always have, but a part of me just wants to go there and never come back. Start over. If that is even possible. How do you start over after something like this? I do not even know where to begin looking for a lawyer. Do they have Yelp reviews for divorce attorneys? I hate lawyers. But now I need the most ruthless one I can find. Nothing's going to fix this. Nothing's going to make this pain go away anytime soon. What the hell am I supposed to do now? The person I gave my life to, the one I thought I was building a future with, she never existed. It was all a lie. I was not perfect, but I was loyal. I was kind. I never once raised my voice until tonight. I was a good husband. And still, there's always some snake out there waiting to slither into your life, poison everything you love, and walk away like it was nothing. To hell with marriage. To hell with love. I do not believe in any of it anymore. I guess I'm just rambling now. I will probably go to bed. Maybe tomorrow I'll call my folks and tell them everything. Right now, I just feel numb. Update. I know some folks out there will say I lost control, that I overreacted, that I crossed the line. Well, it seems the law agrees. Here's the reality. I was arrested. The charges? Communicating threats, felony assault, assault with a deadly weapon, and a handful of other things that do not even matter now. If I am convicted on the major charges, even without a criminal record, I could be facing over 25 years in prison. That's right. If I had actually shot Neshoba and Alwan in a moment of blind rage, I might be looking at less time. Turns out, Neshoba went to the cops. Not his wife. He played the victim, claimed he feared for his life. And apparently, one of the deputies that came to arrest me the next day was the same one who took his statement. They arrested me without incident. I did not resist. Looking back, I think Neshoba went to the cops not just to report me, but to protect himself. And it worked. The judge at my arraignment banned me from contacting Neshoba or any of his family, which means I can't even tell his wife what happened. He got off easy. Meanwhile, my life exploded. I told my job about the charges. Due to legal restrictions, I could not leave the state. It took them 2 weeks to find someone with the right certifications to replace me. And now I am unemployed. Finding a divorce attorney took a back seat. I had to hire a defense lawyer first. Alwan served me divorce papers 2 days ago. We haven't spoken since the night I caught her cheating. She has called and texted. I haven't answered. I hate her. I am never going to forgive this. I am never going to be okay again. I have been staying at my parents' place. They have been incredible, but I can't hear my mom crying when she thinks I am asleep. She should be enjoying retirement, not worrying that her son might go to prison. This mess is crushing them too. I sit in my childhood room now, waiting for the next blow to fall. I suspect Alwan is helping Neshoba or the prosecution somehow. She has not done anything to defend me, that is for sure. And I wonder if she hates me as much as I hate her now. I wish I had a better update. But right now, I just do not know if I will be signing those divorce papers as a free man or behind bars. My cousin mentioned dating again the other day, trying to cheer me up. But it hit me hard. Dating? I cannot even wrap my head around trusting anyone ever again. I have not even started thinking about that. And honestly, if I do not beat these charges, my next date might be with a guy named Jerome in cell block D. My attorney is fighting hard, not just to keep me out of prison, but to clear my name. And if I lose this battle, it is over. Even if I stay out of jail, my career is done. Ever since I turned that bathroom light on and saw Alwan on top of another man, I have been living in a nightmare I cannot wake up from. This story probably sounds clearer in my head than it does written down, but it is the best I can do right now. My life is hell, and cheating is the match that lit it on fire. After the charges were dropped, I figured Alwan found out about the video proof I had, whether through her lawyer or by word of mouth, I do not know. But she started acting real strange, like she could not decide whether to make peace or start a new war. Her lawyer kept pushing for us to have a conversation, face to face. I kept saying no. That woman became dead to me the moment I saw her with Neshoba in our bed. If I ever wanted to talk to someone dead, I would go find a psychic. I had already lined up a solid divorce lawyer. He was the first person I tried to call the second my charges were tossed out. He told me to hold on to that footage. It would be a key piece in the divorce case. So as much as I wanted to send it to Neshoba's wife, I had to sit tight. At least for now. I have no doubt he tried to cover his tail. Probably ran straight to his wife with some twisted version of the truth. But I would bet good money he never gave her the full story. When I told my folks the criminal case was done, they were relieved. They had been bracing themselves for the worst. That courtroom hearing had a miracle ending, and now it was time to move on to the divorce. Alwan is still living in the house right now, which puts me at a disadvantage. I have no intention of ever stepping foot in that house again, not after what I saw happen there. My lawyer is working on some filings to even things out. The way I see it, she should not get the house or the land. She broke the marriage. Why should she get to keep the reward? Real estate prices are through the roof, and if there is anything I am sure about, it is that the house should be sold. Let the court split the money down the middle if they have to, but she should not get the home she wrecked. If she thought that 6-month affair was worth the roof over her head, she should not be selling houses at all. Work-wise, I plan on spending this week either getting my old job back or finding something new. I do not want to cost the guy who replaced me his job, but let's face it, he probably does not have the experience I do, or know the crew like I do. I figure I will be back on the payroll soon. Strange thing is, I am actually looking forward to working again. The last few months have been like a prison with no walls. I need something to focus on besides lawyers, court dates, and betrayal. Anything. I keep thinking about how lucky I am that Alwan and I never had kids. If we had, this would have been 100 times worse. At least now I can block her out completely. No shared custody, no birthday parties, no awkward holidays. Just done. I still want kids someday. I have always loved children. But thank God I did not bring one into that mess. Truth is, I just want to disappear for a while. Maybe find a place not too far from my parents, but far enough from her, and that's Snake Neshoba. I am done with this town. But big cities are too much, and tiny towns have their own brand of misery. I make good money, or I will again, and I can start over. I just do not know where yet. I know I need therapy. That night changed me in ways I have not even figured out yet. I have an appointment in 2 weeks to start one-on-one counseling. I'm sure the therapist will call out my anger issues. And they will be right. But I need that. I need someone to help me figure out how to put the pieces back together. What I did that night. It was messed up. I know that. But I am owning it. I cannot change the past. I can only try to be better moving forward. Final update. I have been trying to figure out how to explain where things stand without turning this into some drawn-out, soap opera mess. So here it is. Our lawyers started talking. Her side kept asking for us to meet in person, saying it was important for both our futures. I did not want to. Hell no. But my lawyer told me I would have to face her in court eventually, so we might as well hear what they were planning. They knew about the video evidence. They had not seen it, but they knew it existed. So we finally met at my lawyer's office. When Alwan and her attorney walked in, I stayed seated. I gave her a look I hope said, "I hate you," with a little extra spice on top. She started crying and tried to walk toward me. I told her to stop right there. That worked. Now, I will not go into every word I said, but I let her have it. I had never once yelled at her in all the years we were married. That day, I gave her everything I had been holding in, every curse, every insult, every ounce of disgust. I meant every word. Even her lawyer looked rattled. We had to take a break just to cool down. When we came back, Alwan asked to speak uninterrupted. I let her. She started by saying she was sorry. She wished I would return her calls or messages. She said she accepted that I never would. Then she hit me with the bomb. Turns out the land we own might be worth a ton of money soon. There is a major company that wants to buy up thousands of acres nearby. And our land? It is right in the middle of the area they want. Airport access, power grid proximity, water supply, it checks every box. She said she cannot sell without my signature. I cut her off and asked, "But you could have if I was locked up, right?" Her lawyer's face told me everything I needed to know. She admitted she told Neshoba not to press charges. Claimed she was glad I beat the case. But when I asked if she was glad before she found out about the video footage, she had no answer. That was when I pulled out my phone and showed it to them both. The video. My lawyer did not love it, but he knew it had to happen sooner or later. That is when she started talking about how much we would both make if the land deal goes through. She said I would be stupid to blow it all up just to punish her. I asked her if that was why she cheated money. She said she did it for us. I almost broke a chair in that room. She tried to spin it all into some noble cause. How she and Neshoba got caught up in the excitement of making big money. She said it was just sex and meant nothing. That did not help. That made it worse. I asked if they used protection. She said they did at first, but then quit because she was on birth control. I lost it. 6 days. That is how long a man's fluids can stay inside a woman. And she was bringing that filth home to me. I asked her how she would like it if I went to a prostitute, dug around with my fingers, and then stuck them in her mouth. It is graphic, but it is exactly what she did to me. Without my consent, I told her she was disgusting. That even now, I could barely look at her without wanting to vomit. She tried to say she took showers. I told her no amount of water could wash away what she did. That was the end of the day for me. I left. Got drunk for the first time since I holed up at my dad's cabin. Funny thing is, part of what she said was good news. If the deal goes through, we are both going to be rich. I will pay off my lawyer, pay back my parents, and still have enough left to start fresh. But to get there, I have to keep working with her. And Neshoba. And that is a special kind of hell. What I had to agree to, just to get my share of the land sale, made me feel sicker than what Awan did to begin with. 3 lawyers drew up the terms, and our own attorneys finalized a divorce agreement. But here is the kicker. We cannot finalize the divorce until the land either sells or the deal falls apart. So legally, we are still married. Emotionally, that ended the second I walked into our bedroom and saw her naked with that man. I have no desire to remarry. I am not rushing to be single again. I just want to erase her from my life. And every time I remember we are still technically tied on paper, it makes my skin crawl. I cannot contact Neshoba's wife, now or ever. I cannot show the video of Awan to her parents or family. She told them we are getting divorced and admitted to the affair, so I guess she saved me the trouble. Either way, I am done with her. I got my job back, thankfully. I start next week at a new site. The charges Neshoba brought against me might get sealed from my record. I do not know the legal process, but my record is clean for now, and I am thankful. What I am still struggling with is her complete lack of shame over her actions. She was sneaking around behind my back while still being intimate with me. I never suspected a thing. Our life in the bedroom never changed, and now I wish it had. At least those poor men in dead marriages do not have to worry about what I had to. When I think about the fact she was kissing me with the same mouth she used on him, it makes me want to throw up. Every moment of affection she gave me now feels like a violation. And Neshoba? I bet he was still sleeping with his wife, too. I cannot help but wonder, did she have any clue? At some point, he shared his mistress with her. Disgusting. I do not regret punching him. Still glad I did not shoot either of them. But the 2 of them are filth. Just human garbage. How someone can bounce between 2 beds without a second thought is beyond me. I had plenty of chances to cheat. I did not, because I had something called loyalty. But apparently, that is a dying concept these days. Condoms are not safety nets. They break. They do not protect from everything. Real safety comes from commitment and trust. 2 things my wife treated like trash. I am still stuck living in limbo until the land sells, which could happen next year. I will be back to work like always, but I will not have a place to come home to. She gets to stay in the house until the sale closes and she pays for everything. After that, the house gets torn down. Nobody else will live there. The land is mostly undeveloped, so moving the house would be impossible. When the time comes, I will show up to sign the paperwork, take my share of the sale, and walk away. Hopefully forever. Truth is, she destroyed something inside me. Made me feel cheap by association. I hate that she took something sacred and dirted it. She turned love into something foul. I know not all women are like Awan, and not all men are like Neshoba, but the ones like them ruin everything for the rest of us. Why does it always feel like loyal people never find each other, but users and manipulators always seem to land on their feet? People talk about trust. How the hell do you trust again when something like this happens? How do you let anyone get close enough to hurt you like that again? She gets to walk away with her name intact. He will too. And I get to be the guy who almost went to prison over a broken heart. Maybe karma will catch up with him. Maybe not. But either way, I am done. When that land sells, the money goes into my account and hers. And that will be the last time we have anything in common. I want to thank those who gave me real advice, told me to keep my mouth shut, and helped me lawyer up. To those who told me to stay strong, I appreciate it. And to those who told me to take my own life, I hope you get the help you clearly need. This will probably be my last update. I will read a few comments over the next couple days, but after that, I am disappearing. If you have been cheated on, I hope you find peace. I'm still looking for mine.